Good night, Barbados. Good night, good night, good night. This is the Marcia Week Show. I am Marcia Weeks, and you are watching live from Barbados. Beautiful, beautiful Barbados. And tonight is a night of victory because I am seeing that all of my platforms are on, thanks to everybody who helped me to get back on. As you know, they're fighting me, trying different all kinds of different things with me, but thanks be to God, I am back on. I am back on. Victory, victory, victory. I must give a big shout out to David Weeks from the USA, Bajan living overseas, Chesterfield, everybody who helped us, my own husband, everybody who put a hand in to make sure that I could be back up and running, people. I say, I smell a victory. I feel like picking up the flag now. I feel like picking up my flag now. I feel a victory over Barbados, guys. I feel a victory, a victory. Listen, 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 listen. I am so excited that we could be live again on Facebook. We couldn't. I couldn't post on Facebook, couldn't do anything. But I am back up and running. Yes. So you know what we have to do? We have to share. All right. So that's what we do. I open my laptop and I come on and we research and we do all of that. And what do, you share, right? You like. So everybody, please like and share, like, share, and subscribe to. Yes, 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 yes. I am so excited to be on tonight. Very, very excited. And folks, we have all of our permits, all of the permits. Please permit me to stretch over here, get my bag, and get the permits out of the bag. Permit me, please, because here we have all of the permits are here. I have everything here, right here, right here, right here. Already, everything. Saturday, Sunday. Oh my Lord! It had me at the edge of my seat. Oh, they had me at I was running. It was close to 4 o'clock, but I got it. I did. And I give God thanks. I give God thanks for every single thing, guys. Good night. Good night. What a wonderful night. What a wonderful night. It really is. And let me just start to welcome everybody. Cecilia Miller, victory. You feel a victory? Oh my Lord, I tell you, a change is here. The change is coming, and we are calling for a new government, a change of government. A change of government. Listen, you all want to continue to have these draconian laws. You realize everything that they're passing, all the laws, it's like the colonial power clamping down on the neck. Well, it's time to take that off. It's time to take it off. Yeah. And what we need is a change of government. That's what we need. Yes. Patrick Green, good night. Yes. Let me read what Junie Rock was saying. Junie Rock said, good night, loyal sons and daughters. Hope the march goes well. And also that people turn out in numbers. Don't matter what happens. Do not give up. We are not afraid. Tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow we want to send a big message. We are not afraid. Look at me. They have my my Facebook page. And I'm back up tonight. Not afraid. Not afraid. And so that's what we do tomorrow. Come out tomorrow, folks. Come out tomorrow. We are not afraid. It doesn't matter what kind of threats, what kind of hacking, whatever they do to us, we will stand up. And you see, when we stand together, shoulder to shoulder, oh my Lord, they can't move us because we stand together, man. Yeah, we standing together, and that's what happens on the march. We feel strong and emboldened together, and we come together. Yes. So tomorrow, yes, that's a picture of us out there on the road together. Listen, you miss it, man. You gotta have that when you come, you get that feeling. Yes, and we want everybody come out. Listen, they don't want us to go out. They are worried. They want to frustrate us. Huh? They want us to be frustrated. Today I sat there and I waited so long. I was up and down, running up and down in town. You believe this is all I did today? Trying to get permits and all kinds of things today for the entire day. That is what my day was about. That was what my day is about, right? Yes, 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 yes. Patrick Green, welcome. Greetings and blessings to everyone. Blessed be the panelists, and may the Lord keep you safe and within his grace and love tomorrow. Peace and love all. Yes, Patrick, we're going to be up there tomorrow. Are you going to join us? Gelbiz. Gelbiz, oh my Lord. She says she's at work, but she's still tuning in. You guys see what the march. Listen, Gelbiz don't miss a march, and she bring her whole family with her. Her whole family, because it's all about this. Love and unity. Yeah, it's all about Barbados. My thing is turned upside down, isn't it? I gotta finish fix it. I can't disrespect the flag. Yes, born again, blessed night all. And somebody, she says, oh, okay, we're gonna try to do that for you, born again, and later about the Thomas number. Send me that question via WhatsApp. Let me send it off to our tax expert for you, born again. Okay. Owen Hines, good night, good night, good night. Sandra Franklin, how are you? Victory. We are on all of our platforms, guys. They did not win. They did not win. Diana Husbands. Oh my Lord, good night. Lucinda Allen, good night. Ah, wonderful. Look at CG telling you what to do, born again. Born again, take a minute and read already. We have experts on here, and they are, see, I tell you, it's not just about the panelists, you know. It's about all of we. It's all of we, and we are not afraid. Protest, march, and rally, cybercrime bill, a threat to freedom and expression. And if you think we're going to take, because Marsha Caddle came out and said a few little things, we're going to shut up. No, 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 no. We do not stop. We do not stop. We have to see what, because those are just recommendations, and we're going to talk more about that tonight. Those are just recommendations. We've got to see the actual bill when it's finished, and that's when we stop. That's what we stop. We've learned our lessons, right? So, born again, you can apply for Thomas number at BRA. There is a branch in the old Julian building. See, born again, you can inquire there. As for the ID, just don't pin it. If you get it, the old ID should work. And CG knows what she's talking about. Okay. And she says if you're coming to March, that she can direct you. So what you have to do when you come born again, come and tap me on the shoulder and say, I'm born again. Let me give you a nice big hug. Yes. All right. All right. All right, my Bajan people. Queen B, good night. It says, good evening, loyal opposition. Have liked and shared. Have you liked and shared? 469 of you on tonight. Have you liked and shared? Pause. Everybody pause and like. You like? Click the thumbs up. Everybody click that thumbs up. And everybody share. Share. So like and share. Okay? James Harding. Oh, good evening. Hubie Shepherd. Oh, we need to do some work, Hubie Shepherd. We've got some work to do. Efforts Trading, good night. Nat Grant, good night. Good night, good night, good night. Victorious Queen, good night. Marceline, good night. Oh, my Lord. Llewellyn Eiffel, how are you? Queen Marquise, good night. Tyrone Green. Marcia, good night. Tyrone Blackman, good night. Mystic Angel, good night. You know what? We got big angels around us, you know. I know Mystic Angel know that. But listen, we have big angels around us, and there's nothing that they throw at us that is going to stick. And that's why I could bless the person who hacked me. Yes, I bless them. The person who hacked me, you might be listening. I bless you. I bless you. And I pray the mercy of God on you, because that's what you're going to need. I just bless you. I have so much blessing inside of me that I could bless you. Yes? Oh my goodness. Jefferson Sobers, good night. Clive Osborne, good night. Lyric Lewis Jokes, good night. Sir Alfred Benjamin from Brooklyn, good night. Tammy Griffith, good night. Fabian Yard, good night. Trevor Stewart, how you doing? Oh, this is a different Marcia. I wonder if there are three of us on the show. Lemuel Tull, good night. Queen B, good night. Simply Patriotic, good night. Hey, Rachel Thornhill, good night. Good night. Michael Jokes, good night. Cynthia Thorpe, good night. Queen B, good night. Erskine Watson, good night. Callie B, I feel like I haven't seen Callie B in forever. Yes, Janetta Calendar says, good night to all. I didn't know so much crap was happening in Barbados until a friend told me about the Marcia Week show. I had just blocked out this government and their underhand doings. And we need a change of government. You know, Janita, we need to see the back of them. We are tired. We are tired of them. You wait until we start tonight of what is going on. And thank you to all of you who've been sending me stuff. Thank you. Marlene Marshall, good night. Marion Griffith, good night. Jeannie Motley, good night. Springtime, good night. Judy Jills. Joshua, oh my Lord. Flo Joe, what am I reading? Flo Joe, good night. Good night. The Charlene, good night. Did you share the Charlene? Did you like yet? And did you share? Did you share the Charlene? Simply Patriot, good night. Yes, we saw that Leslie Haynes is now Chief Justice of Barbados. I tell you. Oh my goodness. Errol Barrow warned us of the court system. And it makes you shudder because of how close all of these people are all tied up. How could that oh my Lord, we're going to talk more about that tonight. Yes, we can't give up now. No. And you know what? Listen, I had so many encouraging words that came to me from the loyal opposition. Everywhere I went today in town, people were encouraging me. They were sending me good thoughts and prayers and everything. And I'm just so blessed. Thank you so much. Hydrate, oil down, rest up, loyal, patriotic opposition. We march like never before for our nation, our family, justice, freedom, good governance. Yes, we need that. Oh my goodness, don't we need good governance? Expression. Freedom of expression, solution seeking, arise, force change. Yes, we need a change of government. Cecilia Cook Hunt, good night. And everybody else, listen. I need to do the anthem, but everybody, Michael Watts, Adrian X, Jackie Jordan, you know I like to call out your names. Usaline King, Judy Jills, Jeremiah Joseph, Michael Harewood. Good night. And if I missed you, good night. Oh, wow. Well, you know what, folks? Let us do our anthem. Yeah, that's the national anthem. And I'm telling you, this is one wonderful anthem and really very, very powerful. So let's do that now. The national anthem.
Oh
Barbados, yes, Barbados. Did you hear it? Do you hear the change in the air? Whenever you hear the anthem, you should feel empowered. You should feel strong. You should feel, yes, you line up behind this flag. And when we went with that anthem, that's a rallying call, and it's a rallying call for change. We are demanding better of our leaders, better, much better of our leaders. Yes, we are demanding much better from our leaders. Oh, yes. Well, tonight we have an amazing show for you lined up. Casual Franklin will be on, and so will Mrs. Rose Corbin is going to be on tonight. And Lynette is working her way to get on. Lynette Eastman, she hasn't been on with us in so long, and so she has a thing or two to say about this cybercrime bill. So she's going to be on. But I want to give a shout out to Sonia Brown. This is Dr. Sonia Brown from St. Philip. And yes, you say, oh, but she's a BLP. Listen, we on here, we love everybody. Once you're doing the right thing, we're going to love upon you. And if it is that you're being victimized, regardless of who you are, we're going to stand up for you. And this, oh my goodness, she has been victimized. That's what I say. Politically victimized because she's speaking her mind. That's what happens in this country. Huh? And here she has a tax bill here of a land tax of $7,896.88. In fact, the tax due is $8,312.50. And she has a post on Facebook. Her Facebook post says, these land tax bills are ridiculous. 1 year you may pay $300. The very next year the bill is over $3,000, or much more in her case, over $8,000. She says that calls for extra income, encouraging dishonesty. She's supposed to get an agricultural rebate. If you remember, Mr. Franklin was speaking about that. She says, my agricultural rebate application, as I was advised to apply for, was never even acknowledged. Better must be done for our people. Better must be done. And that's why I say there needs to be a change of government. We cannot continue to victimize our people. She's from the same party. And she didn't say it, in my estimation, this woman is being victimized. What said those who are not part of the party? Why is it that all of us must agree? There shouldn't be any voice of dissent. This woman, Dr. Sonia Brown, she speaks her mind. One brave woman. And she resigned the other day. And she was minister in the Ministry of Health. She resigned, and what they're doing, they're paying her back. This is a lash that she's getting for that. Who is that person in bra that is being used as a hand to put a stranglehold on Dr. Sonia Brown? Who is that person? How is that going to benefit you? And we do these things to each other. We do these things to each other in the name of what? In the name of what? Party. Yeah. Listen, anybody else had any issues with land tax? I say that too. May the judgment of Almighty God fall upon them. Somebody says, Sonia Brown, come out and march with us. Come out and march with us. We are not afraid. Vindictive. vindictive, and that's what they try to do. That's what they try to do to me as well. Anybody who says something else, but I tell you, when we stand together, stop saying, some people say, oh, let the white people stay over there. Oh, let the black people stay over there. Oh, let the DLP stay there. Oh, no. Oh, Sonia Brown is BLP. Leave her alone, and she won't leave the party. So no. If there's political victimization, marginalization, intimidation, we're going to stand together. We are one Barbados. You hear I tell you? One. We don't line up behind any colors. Let them know. We believe, no, Sonia Brown, we are standing with you, Sonia Brown. Sonia Brown, Dr. Sonia Brown, a very good doctor as well. We're standing with you, madam. In St. Philip, my country. St. Philip is a country within a country. Oh God. Of course. Listen, folks. Let me say this. Sonia Brown, we support you, my dear. We support you. And any form of victimization, political victimization. For those of you who have just joined, Dr. Sonia Brown, they have decided they're doing nothing. That's her there. And she's a woman, a tiny little woman, but let me tell you, she's full of punch. And we are standing with her. And because she's standing up. She says these land tax bills are ridiculous. And when she stood up in Parliament, she didn't just stand up for herself. All of the neighbors around her, right? She stood up for them as well. And everybody, then people were calling with their land tax bills because of this woman, right? And this is not the only thing that she stood up for. They know they don't like her to speak. Because they know that when she speaks her mind. There was another form that they wanted, that she spoke about in Parliament. They wanted to victimize those that were, physically challenged and mentally challenged. And this doctor stood up, and she's doing it from inside. And I want to acknowledge her tonight and say to the people in Bra, we see you. And Mr. Franklin, I know is going to continue to work on it. Yeah. You're not hearing me? Nobody's hearing me? Can you all hear me? If you're hearing me, give me a thumbs up. If you're hearing me, give me a thumbs up. Yes, thank you, Springtime. You can hear. Thank you, Judith. Yes, Dr. Sonia Brown. And we're making an appeal on here about her land tax because she's standing up. She's standing up, and they are fighting back. Right? They are fighting her. But we're standing with Dr. Sonia Brown tonight. And of course, we would love for you to join us on the march, but you can only do that when you are ready to join. Yeah. All right. Okay. Wonderful. And Rose Corbin. Okay. So she is coming on now, folks. Tomorrow we have, this weekend, we have a big weekend coming up. There's a big weekend that is coming up tomorrow. 10 o'clock. Anybody can tell me what's happening at 10 o'clock tomorrow? Who knows? What's happening at 10 o'clock tomorrow? Where are you going to be at 10 o'clock tomorrow? Who knows? Come on, guys. What's happening 10 o'clock tomorrow? Who knows? Yes, the march. The march is 10 o'clock tomorrow. The march is 10 o'clock tomorrow. And we are going to be right there at Massy Car Park by Kensington Oval. And we go from Massy Car Park to Independence Square, okay? And we are marching. If you're coming to the march, let me see a thumbs up. Listen, you're not going to leave us out there, you know. We're going to provide water for you. Yes, make sure you have your medication. You take your medication ahead of time. Comfortable clothing. Nothing too hot, right? Light colors. And we march together tomorrow because this thing is not yet resolved with the cybercrime bill, you know. It's not yet resolved, and we're not going to just sit by and allow it to, you know, we're not going to do that. We're going to be out there. Yes. And then of course, we're in Independence Square at 12 o'clock. Yeah. And then on Sunday, where are we going to be? Where are we going to be on Sunday? Anybody can tell me where are we going to be on Sunday? Who can tell me where are we on Sunday and what time? Let me see who is going to get it. Let me make sure that Dave gets that flyer. Where are we on Sunday? Not Oystins. Not Oystins. That's changed. They said we could not get Oystins. So where are we going? Where are we going? Here's the flyer going to come up very, very soon now. Where are we going? We're not going Oystins. Not Oystins Car Park. Not Oystins Car Park, AD. Yeah. No. On Sunday, we are at Hastings Rock. Everybody say Hastings Rock. We have to get Oystins out of our head. Oystins Rock. And we're going to have Senator Ryan Walters is going to be there. We're going to have Lynette Eastman is going to be there. Caswell Franklin is going to be there. Keemar is going to be there. All of our panelists will be there. Ralph Thorne will be there. Listen, we are just, going to have a grand time. Oh my God. And guess what? Kid Sight is going to be there. Kid Sight said, listen, I'm coming through. I'm gonna sing a couple songs. So he's coming through. Kid Sight is coming through. Yes, Hastings Rock. Hastings Rock. That's what where we're gonna be. No Oystins anymore, Leanna Bell. No, Leanna Bell. We're at Hastings. Hastings is where we're gonna not Granny Car Park anymore. Roadside Parliament. I'm waiting for the flyer to come up. And if Dave, if he checks the phone, he'll say it. Roadside Parliament is at Hastings. Hastings, that's where we're going to be. Hastings Rock. Hastings Rock, guys. Rock. Yes, Hastings Rock at 5:30. Yes, John Moore. John Moore, you know, you're going to know to be there because you're going to be doing all of the recordings for us. Yes. Yes, Janine Butcher says, Janine, hey, Janine says, good night, loyal opposition. Get out on Saturday and Sunday. Make a stance. Yes, Hastings Rock. Not Oystins. Not Oystins. Hastings Rock. Yes. So guys, Hastings Rock is tomorrow. Hastings Rock it's Sunday. I am sorry. Hastings Rock is now, guys. I have a little song that I want. I see Miss Corbin is in and she's getting herself ready, but I have a little song. Where am I? Oh my Lord, I touched in the wrong thing. I have a little song that I want to play for you all. Okay, I have a little song I want to play for you all, and you gotta tell me if you're hearing it.
Promise us a better tomorrow. Tell me that the suffering done. Me attack the vote and let me down. Me attack the boat and let it down. She did only want little dealing, big contracts and not corruption. Me attack the boat and let it down. Me attack the boat and let it down. Barbados is too small for me. My pocket full, now you ain't dropped the promise me. And a girl like me want power and more money. You cry transparency, but that's a no for me. Promise us a better tomorrow. Tell me that it's suffering done. Me attack the vote and let me down. Me attack the boat and let me down. She did only want little dealing, big contracts and not corruption. Me attack the boat and let me down. Me attack the boat and let me down.
Hey, and anybody love the song? You want to hear it again? I'm not going to play it again if you don't want to hear it again. Anybody want to hear it again? Listen, nobody like that one. Oh, yes, you love it. Let's hear it one more time. Wheel and come again. That's what they would say. Wheel and come again. Wheel and come again. Yes, they love it. They love it. They love it. Wheel and come again. You know how we do it on here. You know how we do it on here. Let me see everybody swing. Me, I take the vote and let me down. Me, I take the vote and let me down. Yeah, me, I take the vote and let me down. You know, this playing on the road tomorrow. You need to come on. Come on. We have this and we have our other song, you know.
Promise us a better tomorrow. Tell me that it's suffering done. Me, I take the vote and let me down. Me attack the boat and let me down. She did only want little dealing, big contracts and not corruption. Me attack the boat and let me down. Me attack the boat and let me down. Barbados is too small for me. My pocket full, now you ain't dropped the promise me. And a girl like me want power and more money. You cry but that's a no for me. Promise us a better tomorrow. Tell me that it's suffering done. Me attack the vote and let me down. Me attack the vote and let me down. She did only want little dealing, big contracts and not corruption. Me attack the vote and let me down. Me attack the vote and let me down.
Me, I take the vote and let me down. Me, I take the vote and let me down. Oh, Lord, I love it. I get up in the morning singing that too. So we're going to be playing that. Let me say, Miss... Somebody say, I love it, but not more than the Pretender. They love the Pretender even more. Yes, we're going to play the Pretender tomorrow. Let me down. Let me see. Hello, Miss Corbin. We're here having fun. Me, I take the vote and let me down. Me, I take the vote and let me down. Good evening, Mrs. Corbin. Ooh, you're muted. You have to unmute. Ooh, okay. I can't unmute for you. You have to unmute. Okay, so let me wait till she figures it out. She has to unmute. Yes, folks. So you're gonna hear that on the road tomorrow. Somebody say keep playing it. You're going to hear that and you're going to hear your favorite Pretender. Okay, you're going to hear your favorite Pretender. Yeah, so Miss Corbin is on, and I think she's about ready. But listen to me, Nate. This weekend is big, but next weekend is going to be really big. And I think we need to use the right flyer because on the 25th, on May 25th. It's now one event, May 25th. We are at where? King George the Fifth Park. Oh my Lord. And because we're supporting the diaspora in the Health and Wellness Festival. Let me go right to Mrs. Corbin, Rose Corbin. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Marcia. Quite well.
Oh my Lord, you were rocking to the me I take the vote and let me down.
I hear you.
The vote and let me down. Oh my Lord.
Uh,
We're
you're
glad.
having fun. I'm having fun.
Yes, 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 yes. So
We
tomorrow
have
is a big
to.
day.
We have to in these times. We
Yes,
have to maintain our sense of humor, or not be people most desperate and miserable.
yes,
So, and I welcome the creativity of our people who at quick notice can produce like this. And we welcome such talent and creativity and hope that
yes, yes,
um, the cyber bill that they're seeking to impose will be pushed back so that creativity like this will not be stifled and that people will not be penalized because we hurt people's feelings. So we are continuing our work in this area.
yes,
I
yes,
want to say good evening, Marcia, again to you and thank you for this opportunity, as well as to the loyal sons and daughters all. Oh, pardon me, just let me turn off my phone.
yes, yes, yes.
I'm sorry about that. Quite sorry. Don't put up this slide yet. I just want to do a little preempt into it. Um, I have been quite concerned about some developments, some utterances that I would have heard over the last couple of days, which has prompted me to do this session with the loyal sons and daughters, all craftsmen of our faith. I want to say good evening to all. And I don't know if you have, Marcia, but a shout out to dear Maxine McLean on her birthday today.
Yes, 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 yes. I was waiting for, more of us to be on to do that. But let's wait till Caswell comes on. I was waiting. We are going to do that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. We can all do
No,
it
no, but
together
we can
and
get.
blow the trumpet and blow the balloons and cut the cake and have the bubbly out and do a little jig for her and a sing along. Um,
Yeah,
we thank God for Maxine and all of us here. I'm encouraged too by the many persons who meet me and um, applaud us and compliment us and thank us for what we're doing. And the better wash out. And ain't Christmas that I'm singing about, the better wash out because those Marcia, let's be encouraged. Those persons are not marching with us. Persons are supporting us. And many of them are disenfranchised public workers who are approaching and thanking us for speaking on their behalf. Now, this evening, um, colleagues and friends up there, here in Barbados and the diaspora across the Caribbean, wherever you are, if you're that watchman who is on duty, if you are that person who I know who is incapacitated but listens in and called me an activist yesterday, we say good night to you. All those out there, we say good night. And let me share with you my concerns. And I want first, if Dave can, Marcia, to show us that short clip of what occurred in the House of Parliament when MP Tony Moore was wrapping up on her submission on the Child Protection Bill in her capacity as the chair of the Joint Select Committee. Please listen carefully, my people. Do listen. Thank you, Dave. Could we have it played?
Ensuring, among other things, their pension and all their rights and so on, but clarifying in many instances for them under the law, what to do if there are concerns or where there are concerns about the safety of a child and the course that they should follow. So, Mr. Speaker, in entering, I can't speak for other members of the committee, but in entering the start of our meetings, there were many things that were anticipated. And one of the things that I did as chair was to ensure that I kept a very open mind. And perhaps too is my training, because even if you hold a view, you work and operate in a system where you appreciate that all ideas must contain. And all ideas must contain cannot just be something that you say, but it has to be something that full expression is given to. I would not end before I express my gratitude to a member of the committee who, by no fault of his own, started the journey with us, but couldn't end it. And that is Dr. Charleston Brathwaite, who served as independent senator until sometime in February, when the crossing of the floor meant that, as he put it in his own words, one day I had a job and the next day was out of a job. But I'm sure he didn't see it as a job, but he has also expressed that it was his pleasure to serve. I recall very well that before one of our meetings, we were having a discussion which he contextualized very interestingly around the second law of thermodynamics. Because one day we were having a conversation around physics, and he was very sure to point to me that all things relate to physics. Physics will offer explanations for a lot of things that go on in our society. And the second law of thermodynamics states that the level of disorder in a society will steadily increase. And I'm sure that if we look around us, we see how the level of disorder in society. You are an attorney, Mrs. Speaker, and I'm sure that things you have to encounter now demonstrate that very fact that is borne out in physics. It also recognized that we are moving from ordered behavior to disorder, where people seem to be more interested in the emotion and the excitement of disorder and disruption than they are concerned with the productivity and the constructive outcomes of order. And I raise that point, sir, because as I was sitting, listening particularly to the honorable member for St. Peter, and as he was responding to a number of the assertions and points raised, I won't use adjectives to qualify them, by the member for Christchurch South, it occurred to me that we have to guard very carefully our democracy. Because if we don't, there's a tendency, as the speaker, the member for St. Peter raised, for our democracy that has served Barbados, its 166 square miles so well for the years, particularly post-independence. It is
very possible as disorder increases for us to see our democracy transforming into anarchy. And we don't even want to get into tyranny. But we must guard our democracy very sacredly. There are Barbadians who are promoting disorder. It's a sad day for all of us when, in the name of democracy and expressing their view, that disorder becomes the order of the day, and it finds its way even into this house, where eloquence is confused for information that has validity. Yes. There are those whose very interest and whose very object is clear to create disorder. They typify disorder even by the institutions that they lead. And they wish us to accept that disorder in the name of pursuing democracy. We see them for who they are, but our concern has to be with those who won't see them for what they are. Those who are not as aware, not as alert, perhaps because they're not as interested as well in what is going on around them, because they find it easier to make contact with secondary information. So I appreciate honorable members who said, go to the Parliament website. But everybody is not going to go. Everybody can't get appreciation for what the bill says by reading it. So I say to my colleagues, if we are to prevent the disorder or to contain the rate at which order is becoming disorder, it will require a sustained energy from all of us. It means that even if it seems like we said it before, even if it means that we explained it before, we need energy and we need commitment to making sure that we keep reminding people what is and what is at stake. We can filter between the noises too of those who seem to be interested in disorder and anarchy, because there's not everything that they say that might not have some value, and we have to be able to filter, not agree with the basis for why they're doing it, but see how we can do better to deliver to the people of Barbados. I know that my time is up, but I remember, Mr. Speaker, being part of a protest in 2017 when there was one who stood up and said, nobody mind them. They're only looking to burn calories and so on and trivializing the effort. And then I lived a year later to hearing some who sat on the benches with that member who was honorable before he became dishonorable. And they said, oh, look how that group of people bring down a government. If we are not mindful, we don't have to agree, but we still have to hear. Seeing people, feeling people means all people. And we still have to hear what is being said that has value to us, protecting our democracy and doing better by our democracy. For in order for us to preserve and uphold our democracy, as I said before, it requires energy and tremendous effort. So let us continue to encourage our citizens out there to promote our democracy through their vote, through political debates, through brass stats, through marches and protests, crossing the floor, whatever, causing confusion. That is not promoting our democracy. It may be a result of some of the things that I spoke about. But let us encourage our citizens. I want to personally encourage our citizens to use the opportunity provided through these standing committees that have been established. There have been joint select committees before
Okay, thank
that
you,
were chosen.
Marcia. We can pause there. Thank you. As I was listening, reading the chat, and I want to caution those of us who are dismissive. We need to listen to what people are saying. We need to hear from their mouths what they are saying. It is not a waste of time listening to what other people are saying. She can only speak what is in her mind, what is their narrative, what she's been hearing, and what their perception of those of us who do not enable or support what they're doing. The words that come from them, these words come from them, not from us. Disorder, tyranny, anarchy, it is becoming their narrative. I am hearing it too often. I listen, I analyze, I critique, I wonder about it, and I share it. And therefore, they are purporting, as she's saying, to protect democracy and to prevent anarchy and tyranny from those who are seeking to promote disorder. Who are those who are seeking to promote disorder? Surely not. I am not. Surely not the Marcia Shaw and the panelists. Surely those other groups with which I am engaged. What we tend to do is to educate, inform, as we're doing now. Therefore, please let us not be hasty to be dismissive, say, shut up, don't listen. We have to understand what the other side is doing. And if you were listening, you will realize too that what is creeping up in their narrative is a mantra. We hear, we see, we feel. Now, she was closing off on that debate on the Child Protection Act, but she used over 5 minutes to speak about those who are purporting and promoting disorder, those who are promoting anarchy and tyranny. Let us look at democracy and see if this is what she understands democracy to be. I've done my research as I normally do, and I've gone on the UN website, no definition from a dictionary, the UN website as our source of defining democracy, and see what they say about democracy. And I'm asking my people out there, as you read these slides with us, that you will ask yourself, are we practicing democracy here? Is democracy alive here? What is democracy as compared to what we are experiencing? So the UN website defines democracy as a core value of the United Nations. The UN supports democracy by promoting human rights, development, and peace and security. Next one. Democracy in the founding documents of the United Nations. And when the United Nations was founded, many persons did not sign on to democracy because many of those nations were not practicing democracy. However, the opening words of the charter started with "We the Peoples," which reflect the fundamental principle of democracy, that the will of the people is the source of legitimacy of sovereign states and therefore of the United Nations as a whole. The will of the people is the source of legitimacy of sovereign states and therefore of the United Nations as a whole. Next slide. The UN does not advocate for a specific model of government. They promote autonomy, but promotes democratic governance as a set of values and principles that should be followed for greater participation, equality, security, and human development. What we are seeing, especially uttered by her, is an attempt to suppress that greater participation as is happening now in the absence of a strong opposition. I'm not saying that Honorable Ralph Thorne is not strong, but a strong numerical opposition in the lower house as well as the upper house. We're talking democracy values and principles. Let's look at the next one. I am not talking about the union. I am her union. I am talking, folks, about what's happening in Barbados and how democracy is being undermined by what is being put out there as governance and governance by them. Democracy provides an environment that respects human rights and fundamental freedoms, and in which the freely expressed will of people is exercised. People have a say in decisions and can hold decision makers to account. Is that happening here? Women and men have equal rights and all people are free from discrimination. Go back to that. We are finding here in Barbados that the environment that should reflect democracy and respect human rights and fundamental freedoms, and an environment in which the freely expressed will of people is exercised, and people have a say in decisions and can hold decision makers to account. Are we experiencing that here in Barbados? I am only going by what Ms. Moore is saying, that we have to protect democracy. Next slide. If you're not as concerned as I am, it's regrettable, but I nip things in the bud. These values are embodied in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It protects the concept of democracy by stating the will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. I did not say, and I'm asking you, is this being practiced in right now, the will of the people? We are seeing that it is being sought to be suppressed under the cyber crime bill, particularly. Continuing, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights develops them even further, these values, and lays down the legal basis for the principles of democracy in international law. It covers, thank you, for instance, freedom of expression, the right of peaceful assembly. They are continually discrediting our assembly when we come together, and the right to freedom of association with others. Democracy. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing this undermined. Next slide. Please, thank you, Dave. The values of freedom, respect for human rights, and the principle of holding periodic and genuine elections by universal suffrage are essential elements of democracy. Genuine, not only periodic, but genuine elections. Not elections, as Caswell will say, that you wrap up $100 in a red shirt and give to people. Genuine elections by universal suffrage are essential elements of democracy. In turn, that democracy provides an environment for the protection and effective realization of human rights from the UN, which we have signed on to. This is the source I've received this from. Next slide, please. Democracy, and what are the essential elements? In 2002, the Commission on Human Rights declared the essential elements of democracy are, and you can tick off, respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms, freedom of association, freedom of expression and opinion, access to power and its exercise in accordance with the rule of law, the holding of periodic free and fair elections by universal suffrage and by secret ballot as the expression of the will of the people, a pluralistic system of political parties and organizations. It seems as though when I hear especially the MP for St. Peter, there seems to be a venom against the opposition leader. There seems to be an anger, there seems to be an annoyance that within the lower house and subsequently in the upper house, that there is this pluralistic system, that there's somebody in the lower house that represents that kind of opposition that has been lacking. The separation of powers, the independence of the judiciary, transparency and accountability in public administration, free, independent, and pluralistic media. We have signed on to the UN Human Rights Convention on Human Rights, and under there, these are the essential elements that they have identified of democracy. I am putting it out there, people, to ask you, given all these facts and indicators, would you say that we are experiencing and practicing true democracy? And the one which Ms. Moore, in her wrapping up remarks, said that they have to protect. Well, if they're going to protect the kind of democracy that we are experiencing now, woe betide. Father, help us. Next one, please. Tyranny, defined. A government in which, remember she talked about tyranny, persons promoting tyranny. And what is tyranny? A government in which all power is in the hands of a single ruler, harsh, cruel and severe government or conduct. That comes from Merriam-Webster Dictionary. I did not conjure it up. Continuing from the Oxford Languages, tyranny is defined as cruel and oppressive government or rule. A nation under cruel and oppressive government. Cruel, unreasonable, or arbitrary use of power or control. I leave it to you. We may not say that our government is cruel, but there are occasions when one might say they are becoming oppressive. Now, remember this word tyranny has not been mouthed or introduced into the jargonese or the language of the Barbadian public. The first time I heard it was from the Prime Minister herself, and I raised it back then when they had their meeting, their conference in St. Lucie. It was raised there. And I see that it continues to raise its head subtly, covertly, but now very openly in those statements that you listen to. Let's look, and I'm wrapping up soon. I'm not going to comment any further after showing the slide. I'm putting it out there to my people. Get serious and understand how they are working on our psyche and what they are aiming to do. In attempting, I would surmise, to protect democracy, they are doing what they are seeking or saying they are doing. They are actually instituting tyranny themselves and anarchy. Let's look at the next slide, please. Anarchy defined: a state of society without government or law, political and social disorder due to the absence of governmental control. That comes from dictionary.com. Anarchy is the rejection of governmental authority and societal hierarchy. It has become a synonym for chaos and disorder. Are they afraid that through our expressions, through our actions, that which points out to that there is a rejection of their authority and their hierarchical systems and their actions, that our activity or the activity of the Barbadian public civil society suggests anarchy or point to anarchy. It is a lack of organization in a society or group, especially because either there's no government
Yes.
or it has no power. And civil war has led to anarchy. And the last slide, I'm putting it out there. You make sense of it, and you determine for yourself who is purporting anarchy and tyranny and who is purporting democracy. I think by our actions, Marcia and Caswell, that we are seeking to be protectors of democracy. Democracy is a state. It is a state aware of living and performing and acting. I'm not talking about the DLP. I am talking about a state called democracy, like a state called, not a state, I mean a condition, a situation then called democracy. Anarchy is defined as general lawlessness and disorder. Are we being lawless? Are we being disorderly? I don't see it. I was talking to someone today, and the person who is in a key position in
Yeah.
this country says that is not within our psyche. I remember briefly, Marcia. I
Yes,
worked.
we have another what 2 minutes. We
Yes,
past the
I
time.
was
Yeah.
working on a UN project that looked at social development and achievements in select countries with the late Myrtle Bishop. And we used to go to UN meetings to report. And at one meeting, we had UNDP, UNICEF, UNESCO, all of those agencies. PAHO even was in. And it was around the time of that march against the DLP government, against the late Honorable Erskine Sandiford. And all the people were asking, what is it about the Barbadian people, the Barbadian public? They watched that march and they saw how peaceful it was. People were singing, "We shall overcome." Town was still doing business. There were no shutters on the store windows. The people were peaceful, and they kept asking us what's about it. And I said, our psyche is that of passive resistance, peaceful protests. We don't know about throwing rocks or big stones. And it continues even now, Marcia, as we prepare to march tomorrow.
Yes.
And therefore, to say that they are protecting us and telling the people to go out and vote. That was the first thing, to go out and vote so that the democracy of Barbados can be preserved and be promoted here. Seems to me like contradictions.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
are saying one thing, but by their very action, they are doing or seeking to do or might do or will do what they are warning that persons are promoting in this country.
Yeah.
Show me anarchy, disorder, and tyranny, Marcia,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I will have to stop doing what I'm doing and tell them, look, pursue with the democracy for Barbados that you have in mind and will practice. And we continue here, and you can
Yeah.
read for yourself. But anarchy, you can look for the definition in the
Yes.
Collins Dictionary.
Well,
So, my
well,
folks, I appreciate that you have been patient with me, but I want us not to become dismissive and hush away or shoo away these things that are before they were subtle. Now they are becoming quite overt,
yeah.
and there
Very,
seems
very
to be
bold
an
with,
annoyance
yeah, very bold
that
with
that that
what
that
is being
there is
presented.
there
Yeah.
there are voices that are
Correct.
saying this is not how it should be done,
Yeah.
and we will not allow it to be done.
Yeah. You know, Rose,
So you work
there is
out for
somebody
me
here saying what
democracy,
Rose,
anarchy, and tyranny and disorder. Where do we fall, and who is doing it and who isn't? Thank you, Marcia.
yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rose. Queen B is saying that this is why the bill is to shut us down. We shall not be moved or muzzled. And where, I remember you doing another great program tonight. It was excellent. Again, class as usual. And where the PM was talking about tyranny. She was the first one who brought that up, and treasonous when we were talking about
Yes.
the water, and so she Jobby water treasonous. She talked about tyranny. The attorney general called us anarchists and talked about anarchy. These are, look at the level. This is, you're talking about the Prime Minister, the Attorney General, and now you have Tony Moore,
A
talking
unionist,
about
a leader of the trade
a leader
union.
of a trade union leader. It's supposed to be a union leader talking about disorder. Now, what I want to say before Mr. Franklin, we welcome him and he jumps in on this, is that every Saturday we go out to march. I want everybody listening to understand this. We go out to march with our permit. I'm trying to find the one here that we have for tomorrow. And this is coming from the Public Order Act. The Public Order Act. That's what we get the permission from. So I would like to know, what is the disorder that Tony Moore is talking about? Yeah? Where somebody asked, where's the chaos and the disorder in our marches? And all that is happening, just to agree with how Rosa so eloquently put it, it's a conditioning of the mind. They're beginning to throw some terminologies out there. Listen carefully. Treasonous, tyranny, anarchy, disorder. For us to people, Bajans, to go back in their shell and say, oh Lord, let us behave like good, decent children. And don't follow that Jamaican woman that want to make you into Jamaicans. We don't do that in Barbados. She's trying to turn you all into Jamaicans. I hear them. And they're throwing that out there. And as Rose is saying, it's good to listen to it so you understand where they're coming from. And the last thing I'll say about this before Mr. Franklin jumps in is to say this. The way I am, I realize that that's what you're doing, and you want me to go this way, I go the other way. I am going to go the other way. And I'm saying to everybody listening, over 1,000 of you, because of what she says, if she's calling what we're doing disorder, make sure you come out tomorrow. They're calling us anarchists. Come out tomorrow. Thank God for the anarchy. Thank God for it then. Thank God for the disorder then. It's with a public order, permit under the public order. But you are telling us that we are not afraid of those comments. And as Rose says, we're not going to allow those comments to condition our minds and to push us back into quietness. Mr. Franklin, welcome. I know she's your favorite person.
Hey, Rose. Good night, everyone. And thanks again, Marcia, for having me on the show. And I always appreciate the opportunity to come here. I am a bit late because I had to take She Who Must Be Obeyed out. And, so let's get into what I want to talk about now. Because there are several things that I promised people to explain. But my anger has reached boiling point. So I'm going to talk about something I saw today. Somebody sent it to me on WhatsApp. It says, Leslie Haynes sworn in as Chief Justice. That appointment confirms that Barbados is now firmly established as a banana republic. I don't have any ill will or hatred toward Leslie Haynes. As a matter of fact, I pity him for the way how he demeans himself to the Mortleys. But what troubles me is that the Prime Minister went before the House and she gave the impression that she was giving up certain of her powers when it comes to appointing judges. That was the farthest thing from the truth. All she did was put a layer in that she could ignore if she chooses. And that was a bill to establish a judicial appointments committee. That committee was supposed to fill vacancies for Chief Justice. That committee was headed by Sir David Simmons. I understand that he recused himself for this appointment. I don't want to speculate that he didn't want to dirty his hands with it, because I suspect that that is what it would turn out to be. Dirty hands with me, but you don't want dirty hands with Leslie Hinge. Because it's a shameful act appointing that man to the post of Chief Justice. And I well remember last year, June or July, that established for me. Now, what happened today established for me that the Prime Minister is probably the most clairvoyant person in Barbados. I'll tell you why. June, July last, I'm not sure. A member of staff of the same Leslie Hinge called me to find out what their entitlements to severance pay, because he had announced to them that he's going to be the next Chief Justice. Before an ad is put in the newspaper, before any person applied for a post, he knew almost a year ago that he would be the Chief Justice. So we went through the motions of going through a selection process to come up with the Prime Minister's choice, a choice that we know. And if you hear the people in the judiciary, judiciary in some instances, and at the bar, criticize this man, you would believe that he was one of the worst lawyers in the world, especially the lawyers who have to deal with him. Now, all of a sudden, he happens to be the best legal mind that the government can find to make Chief Justice, because he used to be the guy walking around carrying Elliot Motley's bike. He is hands only in name, Motley and everything else. She appointed him chairman of the National Insurance Board, chairman of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, chairman of a whole lot of other stuff, because he is the only body that she trusts, or one of the few people that she trusts. The government has a legal department that is supposed to represent the government in court. And every time somebody put the government in court, we have a department headed by somebody called the Solicitor General, who ain't got no work to do, because the government then turns around and gives Leslie Hinge the job to do it on a private basis. So you can see how he is highly favored. But it's rotten to the core when you can find that you go through this charade, people like to call it charade, I don't know, to appoint a man that you identify up front. And if the Judicial Appointments Committee made this selection after the Prime Minister and after Leslie Hinge announced that he's going to get a job, I think the Judicial Appointments Committee should bow its head in shame and go home and don't come back, because they would have picked up the Prime Minister's choice from everybody else in the world, because they don't even have to wait on appointments. They can headhunt. And they end up with this. I am told that from last year, he went and get a coach to teach him how to be a gentleman and that kind of things, and how to hold himself, look to the judicial. And the man actually made it a Chief Justice. The next thing you know, I can be Deputy Chief Justice or something, so no, because Lord, if he can make it, what about me? It is tantamount to corruption. If it isn't corruption, it's the closest thing to it would be a first cousin. I don't know what this country is coming to. The Prime Minister and her cabinet cannot do anything right. Whatever they do, it has to be tainted with BLP nonsense or somebody's personal favor or friendship going on. I don't want to see Barbados sink to a level where we will be the laughing stock of the common of the world, especially the people in the Commonwealth, the judicial system that we have. But we are knocking at the door. We're out there knocking at the door and demanding entry when you put Leslie here as the Chief Justice of Barbados. Some people might be cursing me. I don't mind get cursed all the time. But that is my view, and that's my honestly held view. The next thing I want to talk about is the invalidity benefits that civil servants get if they become from national insurance. But everybody gets it if you become medically unfit for work and you have enough national insurance contributions, you will get an invalidity benefit. It will be paid until you get better or until you die. Now, because some illnesses take longer than some for you to recover. So even though you might have been out for a year, there might be some prospect that after some treatment and therapy and praying, whatever else you have, you might come back to a situation where you can go back to work. Now, if that is the case, your invalidity benefit will cease. Now, a lot of people, when they get this invalidity benefit, the government is taking away that amount of invalidity benefit from your government pension. In the there are two different pension systems that I'm dealing with. When you're a public officer, you're entitled to a pension under the Pensions Act, Cap 25 of the laws of Barbados. And if you are declared medically unfit for work and you have 10 years service, 10 or more years service, you get a pension until, again, your illness is resolved or until you die. What has been happening here is they have been deducting your national insurance invalidity benefits from the pension you get from the Treasury. And the reason why they're doing that is that they are saying that in 1975, government passed piece of legislation, the Pension Amendment Act, that says that the pension that you get from the Treasury will be reduced by the amount you get from national insurance. And I have a different view on that though. But however, the invalidity benefit is not the pension, the national insurance pension that this amendment contemplates. And boy, it would be ridiculous. National insurance is for all intents and purposes an insurance. And you pay contributions to insure you in the event that you become ill or disabled or whatever. You have a mortgage. You have children to send to school. And then when you get that pension, the government then take away that similar amount from you because they're saying that you're getting the benefit. So what happened to your mortgage? If you are no barely surviving on the salary that you are getting, and you get a pension that is significantly reduced, and then they take away your national insurance invalidity benefit, the amount of that benefit, they are forcing people into poverty. And unnecessarily so, and illegally so. Because if you check with the general orders for the public service, which, by the way, is now a document made under the Public Service Act that gives it this legal validity that everybody said they didn't have years ago. General Order 84 says, let me find it. Because it is very relevant. It says, the pension which is paid to a former officer or employee in respect of public service, which first commences after the 1st of September 1975, shall be abated by the amount of any old age contributory pension which becomes payable to that former officer or employee by virtue of the provisions of the National Insurance Act. The operative words there are old age contributory pension. National Insurance has old age contributory pensions, they got invalidity benefits, they got death benefits, they got all type of benefits. But this provision in the general orders say that when you get your pension in 1970, after you join the service after the 1st of September 1975, your pension will be reduced by the amount that you get for, and I will quote, any old age contributory pension. The invalidity benefit is not an old age contributory pension, so you cannot reduce, even if they believe that this section has some validity and it is not it's constitutional. It is not speaking to that. But what they have done is to take away that pension from people, force them into poverty and destitution, some of them losing homes. Some of them are too old to go back home at the mother because the mother gone. So they lose everything because the National Insurance pension only covers you for your maximum insurable earnings. Right now, that is $5,200 a month maximum. And you get a small percentage of that, about, but depending on how much you paid in, there's a formula that you can work out how much invalidity benefit you will get. But it's certainly not going to be even $4,000 a month. It's not going to be $2,500. But they are taking this away from officers and making them destitute. Now, I want to say something else that I said before on this program. Even if that provision was legal, I mean, it was a national insurance, if the old age contributory pension that the regulation was contemplated included invalidity benefits, even if that were so, the Constitution does not allow you to do so. I do not know how over all these years nobody has spotted it and why they haven't spotted it. It beats me. Because let me tell you why I say this. The Constitution Act, Section 104, provides that any pension that is granted to you can be the power to withhold it, reduce it in amount, or suspend any award payable under such law is hereby vested in the Governor General, now President. Okay? This law that reduces your pension, reduces the national insurance, reduces your pension from the Treasury by the amount you get for national insurance, it was not done in accordance with the provisions of Section 104 of the Constitution, which says that this can only be done, and it says, subject to the provisions of subsection 5 and 6, the power vested in the Governor General by subsection 1 shall be exercised by him on the recommendation of the appropriate service commission. So the service commission has to recommend to the president that your pension must be reduced. So it cannot be a carte blanche thing where you say you can reduce all when you get, because they have no power to reduce your pension. Parliament has no power outside of amending the Constitution to reduce your pension. But that is what they have done to every officer who joined the service after the 1st of September 1975. They have, and this is going back to Barrow's time. I ain't here to protect Barrow or anybody else. I'm here to tell you what has happened. But what is ridiculous is that when this was pointed out to the Prime Minister, I was one of the people pointing it out. She restored the pension of some people. Some people got back their invalidity benefits, and others did not. some who were highly favored. So if the law says, the law don't say to some, the law applies to everybody. It's like the rain. The rain falls on the just and the unjust. So pensions also falls on the just and the unjust. You can't decide because the prime minister decides that, okay, this is wrong, but we ain't got enough money to fix it, so we can only give back some people. And that is what has happened in Barbados. The prime minister has taken it upon herself to restore the pensions that were illegally taken to some people and not others. Just imagine, you are working with a fella, but he's a BLP. You are not. You get back yours because you are BLP.
Right.
But other people who are suffering because you don't belong to the Barbados Labour Party. Rose was talking about anarchy and all kind of stuff. That is a sure recipe for developing anarchy. Something has to give. This nonsense has to stop. You cannot continue to treat the people of this country. If you are B, you get favored. If you are not, you don't get favored. You know, and I say no more on that, except to say that I've asked a lawyer to pursue this matter in court for me. You know, I cannot find a lawyer willing to go to court.
Wow.
The lawyer's frightened for the prime minister. And want them because they got cold feet. You know, I ain't said do this for me for free. But you know, like Barbados today and your money, Marcia, ain't good enough. Your money ain't good enough for them. So the money now ain't good enough for a lot. I ain't got a lot, but I was willing to take this to court because I believe that I am right. I remember when I took the thing with the prison officers, you know, because in 1982, Tom Adams removed the trade union rights from prison officers and said that they can form an association and they can't associate with unions, or could lose their jobs, lose their pensions, lose everything. And for years I was fighting it, but nobody would listen. But eventually, 4 prison officers heard me on it and decided they want to test it. We decided to go to court. I went to a lawyer and I explained to that lawyer. The lawyer looked at me and told me as well, that case has no merit. I said, I'm not asking you if it got merit. I'm asking you to file it. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't file it myself. So all you got to do is go in and argue. I tell you, if win, lose, or draw, you're going to get paid. He went to court grudgingly, and we won. Of course, I saw him parading how he win this big case. So it's mine, you know, I'm thinking, you tell boy the thought this guy's will do work for him. But I don't mind. As a result, prison officers were able now to come back and to join units or form units if they choose. But that was an illegal act done by Tom Adams back in 1982. And it was corrected by Justice Cecil McCarthy. No wonder you didn't get this extension. You know, he struck down that amendment to the Pensions Act, and he said that the amount of things that were wrong with it, if you left the parts that weren't unconstitutional, it wouldn't make sense. So he struck down the whole thing. So prison officers are now entitled to join unions. And those 3 out of those 4 officers were the targets of government attacks. As a matter of fact, they claimed they had COVID, sent the police at their house, and all kinds of things. You might remember we talked about that sometime back, Marcia.
Yeah.
You know, and mind you, they claimed that they were infected and they had COVID and they want to move them out the house, but they had mothers and wives and children in the house, and the authorities didn't want to move them out. They only want to move these 3 prison officers. I said, ain't happening. And we fought for them. And they're still here, thank God, because I said if they get them alone, they will not be here this time. It will be a blessed memory.
Yep.
because they were the ones who were willing to stand up for all the other prison officers. And they suffered. They suffered for it.
Yeah.
This is what happens in Barbados when you're there to stand up for people.
I know we have another, because we're going close to the time for we have another thing that we want to do. But I know you want to talk about homelessness, so we have
Yes,
about
Marcia,
another nine minutes.
I will skip the other things that I want to talk about. And I
Yeah.
will come to homelessness was the last on my list, but I will not promote that in the order. I talk in cricket, now promoting the order. You know, everything's World Cup. You know, even today I
But
can get my office.
before you move to that, Rose, is there anything on this invalidity benefit that you have to say? Any quick comments? A short, quick comment on it?
I am aware of persons who have expressed concerns about their pensions and their benefits. And I know persons who would have been accustomed to a certain kind of lifestyle, and now they have the concerns that Caswell has pointed out. And there are certainly disadvantages too by having to choose, right, Caswell, between one pension, or not choose, but having the what they call the treasury pension stopped and just getting the other benefits when there were I am not an expert on it, but I do know persons who
Yeah.
are having challenges, Marcia,
Mhm.
because of the issues that Caswell point out, and now living on reduced income from their pensions. I do know them personally.
Yes, yes, yes.
I
And I
do
know.
know, and some of them have been civil servants in the police force and in the teaching profession, right, Caswell?
Yes,
I
Mhm.
do know. I do know of them.
especially police, because you
Police,
know
yeah,
police go out there and they have to combat with criminals,
and they
and
were
sometimes fight
injured.
sometimes you get injured in the course of your
Yes,
duty, and then you are reduced to pauper.
yes,
A former policeman came to my office and cried because he got injured on the job. A fella pulled a vehicle at him, hit him, and he ain't getting nothing. He's suffering.
I know of a policeman who, in the line of duty, trying to apprehend someone in custody who was trying to get away. He fell and hurt his back. Had to come out on invalidity. That's right, as well.
Yes.
And he was getting that invalidity as well as the treasury. And when he reached last year, it is 67. Is that?
Yes.
They cut it, and they did it early as well. All the time they can't get it done. He can't get monies done, but they did it early. They notified him early that this is going to happen to you, and they stopped the money pronto. So
You
it's a
see now,
concern out there.
I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this. Sorry. What has happened? There are two different benefits. If you get hurt on the line of duty, you can get a disablement benefit. If you get hurt when you are at work or during the course of your duty, you can get a disablement benefit as opposed to invalidity. But you have to go to the doctor, and the doctor will determine your level of disability. And I know of cases where the doctor says that this man is totally incapable of work. Let's say he's a policeman, he can't work. And then when the national insurance, he goes to national insurance now, the same doctor says he's fit for work. They will tell you, he is sent home because this doctor has certified to the Service Commission that he's unfit for work. But then the same doctor tells the National Insurance that the man can work. He's capable of working, but he has been sent home. That doctor is on my avenue, where I'm working. I have actually filed an appeal against a decision that he did. And it is more than a year. And nobody is pursuing that appeal because I appeal against, I use both his things. He's saying he's totally disabled from work. He can't work as a public officer anymore. But when it goes to national insurance, national insurance, the same man can work. This is a man, he's very shoddy. People call it. That's close enough to his name, though. He's very shoddy. And he actually, in another case, the employer sent the worker to him to say that he's fit for work. And he wrote a report on the wrong man. And on the wrong hand. Because the fellow had the right hand injured. And he read a report by somebody left hand, somebody that is much older. And the fellow gets sent home. And we can't get that before the tribunal. That's a matter that should go before the tribunal. I've been know for years to get this matter before the tribunal. But this is another day for another time for that. I want to talk about homeless people. Homeless people in Barbados are growing. They're growing because of the pressures that they have to go through. Some people, the families become large, and after a while, they're got no space there for you. You become a pest. The people get rid of you. People lose their homes because of they lost jobs, divorce, or mental illness. Those are people that the state should help take care of. And they're not doing it. Or they're not doing a good enough job. What they do, they prefer to give some money to Safri so he can campaign with it and call himself an advocate for homeless people. But I myself went to see those people by the Treasury. Because I was concerned that these people are there and day and night. So I wanted to know what's going on. I want for myself. I don't want Marcia to tell me or Rose to tell me. I want for myself. I'm one of those good old-fashioned Belgian malicious people. If I want to know something, I'm going to ask. You can then say, but in your business, don't tell me. But I think because I can ask. So I asked them why you don't go to the homeless shelter there on Spray Street. And all of them that were there at the time said, that man treat people too bad. They ain't going in there. He treat people bad. Insult you.
Which man is this? Who is that?
Safri.
Kimar Safri. He's in charge of the homeless shelter.
Yes. And how he treats them. So they rather live on the street than go in there and sleep at night. They have more dignity on the street than they do with him. So rather than government takes up the responsibility, because the government is here to look out for the people who are the most vulnerable. They don't need to do that kind of welfare to all these rich people and getting all these contracts and things, the pre-concours, that kind of stuff. But that's welfare, making sure that the people who got money get more, but the people who don't have anything, they treat them like dirt. Now we got World Cup coming up. So you can't let the outside world see that we have homeless people.
Actually, we have the little we have a video. So we want to just show a little bit of that, but just make the comment and then we're going to show a little bit. Yes.
Right. And so you want to show Barbados as this pristine place. That's where you dig up all the roads that you figure that the cricketers and the people who come to watch cricket going travel on and do this mass rush job to get the roads looking a little better. Not for us who have dropping up holes and losing, but the people's car. The time is water. They don't know about cars. I know where to put the water and the wiper fluid. As much as I know. And the gas, people, gas is put in the gas tank. So I don't do that. That's all I do to the car. Right now, around, it's called somebody who got expert in that field. I don't dabble in things I don't know about. And they make it pristine, so much so that they don't want people to know they got poverty in Barbados. And they got homelessness. So if you want to hide the homeless, then give them some place to live. But what these people have done, they go and get garbage trucks and take those people's worldly goods. You ain't got nothing much to begin with. And you throw it in a garbage truck. I spoke with that woman already. How can a government be so heartless to its own people?
So that you're saying that they actually took their, because I was trying to understand what she was saying on there. They came and they just sent the garbage truck and took up all of their belongings.
Yes, tell them, but be telling them to move ever since. Not it's urgent, no, because you know the cricketers, some of the cricketers are here. Because only today I can't get to my office.
Right.
Police in bulletproof vests and rifles or whatever else you got there, and task force men got my place blocked off. I can't get 15 feet down the road to turn into my office because a mosque is obliquely opposite my office, and those people had to go and pray for 15 minutes, for 10 or 15 minutes. Sirens blaring, police, outriders, all kind of nonsense. But the Lord of Muslim cricketers to come and disrupt the place because everything got to be rolled out for these people. You know, we got to treat them like royalty. Well, let them get in mosque, get a taxi and go up there. But we have to go and we have to make a spectacle of ourselves. These people will be laughing at me because these fellas, when these people leave their homes, they might live in the heights and a half mile down the road, they pass through slums. But Barbados can got 5 people up by the Treasury building, and if you can take, you can't forbid the people things.
You can't take their thing. Let's watch a little bit of the video. Probably not all, but let's watch some of the video. It's very sad. Very sad video.
Yeah, so this morning reporting from over here by the old Treasury building where the homeless people were having a place to lay. They're having in like camp. I have one of the homeless people here explain to me, two of the homeless people here explain to me what took place this morning. You mind speaking?
I don't mind at all.
Okay,
I
go
love to
ahead.
speak.
Go ahead.
This morning we was out here. When we look, we see about 3 police jeeps pull up. And then they tell me, what we talk about the early states, but not to move with the takes. But I have to move to the no. That was the said. I have to move to no. Well, we had a place for we put a couple of things for the beach. We was going to try to get the rest to move off to put them on the beach. Put them on the beach. And they tell us, oh, we ain't got the time, we can't wait. You tractor care, you take us car, take the garbage care, take the things care. A truck came beside, there's a truck. Everybody came. People just stand up and watching. Sanitation, police, all sorts of people just come stand at his work. Just come stand up and watching. But it's me one when they go up on the beach, guys say this for the beach, I pray to get things okay. Just go hurry at me like everybody's a dog. Tell me, oh, we can't wait, we gotta go. A truck here and everything else, pick up the stuff and take up all the vehicles, everything, and put them in the same truck and went over there. A friend of my one is here for the beach, he go up and swim. But he don't have no clothes, we don't have nothing. The car was in the bag. In the bag, I had $100 in the bag. In one of the bags.
Okay. So you see, this is what's going on in Barbados, just in the name of the World Cup. Big guy, you have anything to say?
I be there too. And can't know my clothes, my shoes, my everything. Can't know the 3 shirts that we had out there.
Hello?
My soap, my toothbrush.
Yeah.
You can't only bucket that means catch water into bed. They didn't left nothing for me.
Yeah.
Put on.
Okay.
She already got a bed there clothing.
So you guys know where you guys will be hanging later tonight?
We don't know yet, but we gonna hang up.
The only place we got is for the beach. The only place we can take to go to sleep tonight is for the beach.
Okay, Marsha be here reporting from Downbridge Town. Seems that the government cleaning up everything in the name of World Cup. Even the vehicles getting cleaned up. I want to chat. I hope so.
Oh, that
This,
is heart wrenching, and we want to just give credit to Matthew B. That I spoke to him before the show started, and he was actually with us. He comes out and he marches with us on the street, and he was speaking. He spoke at the march last week. I just want to give him a big shout out because he had the courage, Mr. Franklin, to stop and to talk to the people. That is very, very sad. Go ahead, sir.
Marcia, they are human beings. There go I but for the grace of God. That could be any of us. And I would not want to see that happen to a dog. Certainly not Snow. But that's how you treat human beings. You mean to say they ain't got one body with any heart at all in this government? They're heartless, spineless.
That is sad. That is very, 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 very sad. I wrote down the things, Mr. Franklin, that they said they lost. They talked about their soap that they bathed with.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you look at what they're not talking about tables and their cars or anything. Think about it. Their soap, it's their toothbrush. This is what the garbage collectors took away.
Their
And
clothes.
I'm saying their bucket that they bathe in. I wanted to sink in. When I was watching it last night, you know what I did, Mr. Franklin and Rose? I closed my eyes. I closed my eyes and I listened to her. Her clothes, she had $100. She did not say 1,000. Didn't say 500. I doubt she has a bank account, but she knows she's trying to save. She had $100. It's gone in the garbage. The ID is gone. There somebody made mention of like a mattress or a bedding or something gone. Like basic things. Their little food gone. How do you send the garbage collector, to pick up their things like that? Do you see why I'm saying that this government has to go? 1 minute there, Mr. Franklin. Let me just say something. And if you can't come out for any other thing tomorrow, come out for these people. Come out for the homeless in our society. Come out for the brutal treatment of people in this society. This is awful and it is sad. And you know what, Mr. Franklin and Rose? It happens. I'm on the show and I see it happens over and over and over again. And look, you're going to hear what's going to happen with those fire victims. Because even when they mean well, because their heart is wrong, it comes out wrong. There's a wickedness and an evil and a harshness in the way they treat people. But over to you guys, because my heart is so heavy right now.
It is painful, Let the human beings. How can you are judged by the way you treat the poor among us, right? When you have big parties and the fats and all kind of stuff for your friends and stuff, that does not come. It is how you treat the least among us. And this government is famous now, or infamous now, for treating poor people badly.
Caddle
But the
and
Prime Minister,
Marcia.
by her own words, said she just pretend to care about people. And this is an example of it.
Caddle and Marcia. They knew that this was going to happen. They knew that they intended to remove the people from there. Couldn't they have looked for someplace that they could have relocated them in the interim. They knew,
But it's an
they
election time.
knew that they want to make um, Bridgetown and the environs look good, that and everybody could see that the roads have just been repaved and buildings repainted, etc. Just like how I saw, and I felt offended when I saw on the heels of the fire on Wellington Street, Corey Lane was somewhere down Pickwick, somewhere down near Kensington Oval, giving 2 gallons of paint. And the person that they chose to put in front of the camera, I said, for a photo shoot to expose one's vulnerability and poverty and simplicity. Pardon me, I'm not saying it in an insensitive way, but I thought that was so inappropriate. So you know that you are cleaning up the city. You had time. Couldn't you make interim, even if it's just short term, accommodation for these persons? You mean that it would have shoveled them up to if they didn't get out of the way with a bobcat or whatever and throw them in the garbage? And on this matter with Safri, with the shelter for the homeless persons, I know personally of individuals who have been treated poorly there. And I speak of a woman who was there for the above reasons that Caswell would have cited, reasons why persons become homeless. And she was quite sick. She was insulin dependent and had to inject herself. So, you know, her medication had to be refrigerated. And some mornings, she would have preferred to stay in bed and rest. But she had to turn out because they don't keep them in there during the day. That is why you see so many homeless persons on the street during the day, because as the Bayesian says, soon as the sun break out for their morning comes, like if they belong to a for their morning band, they are turned out. And she had to be turned out with nowhere to store her insulin medication, which had to be refrigerated. And again, we can see that large sum of money given to Mr. Safri in the name of the program for the homeless person. Shouldn't they have consulted with him that they intended to treat those persons who we have just witnessed having these hardships imposed on them, more hardships and displacement? I'm stamping my foot. More hardship and displacement. And as you say, Marcia, the lipstick cake, soap gone, the toothbrush gone, the bucket, the bin. These are the things that created home and a space of comfort for them. And this is what done. This is democracy. That's all I'm saying. This is the democracy that MP said that they are seeking to protect from persons like herself who speak out against these injustices.
Yeah.
That's democracy for you through their lens. And they are saying We see you, we hear you, you feel you. Well, Marcia, you know that we stood outside Parliament building in recent time, and they all couldn't see because they drove in with the air conditioned tinted SUVs and whatever. And a few of them just rolled down to give a cursory wave and gone. And they obviously don't pass by the old Treasury building. They don't.
Yeah.
And they're still saying the mantra that, but I want us to turn that mantra on them and say that the people here on the Marcia Week Show and elsewhere in civil society, we are seeing, we are hearing, we are feeling, and we are acting.
Yes. You know, Rose, there is someone in a chat was saying that really that the homeless people were told to move. So he's basically saying they deserve what they get.
How you mean you are told to move and you got nowhere to go?
Nowhere
Well,
to
listen,
go.
Marcia, you do know that there are people who are renting homes, and for whatever reason, they are told to vacate, but they can't vacate because they can't find some place to go. Where are you going to tell a homeless person to vacate and go? Where?
And
shouldn't you be putting alternative accommodation there for them? How you mean that they were told to go? And yes, I know that some of them have practices that are unhygienic and unhealthy. But good God in heaven, and he's a good God, couldn't an intervention be made for them in the interim?
Well, listen to what Simply Patriot is saying, because this is part of the challenge that is happening. And until you start to talk with the homeless, Simply Patriot and others, you know, because I too used to say, well, if they have a shelter for them, why aren't they going there? And it wasn't until I started to speak with some social workers that I realized that a lot of the homeless people, they feel that they're treated badly in the shelters. Some of them, they feel that they are not safe in the shelters. So you have to understand that too, you know, because she's saying, in all fairness, the government, they have private facilities that these persons can freely go unless they don't want to abide by the rules other than you expect to live a public place on campus. The other thing is that, remember, you know, some people might say,
but
well,
some of them, Marcia, have mental health issues.
I was about to say that. That, you know, that for a lot of them, that you can look at the video, you can tell that you can't, it's not, they need more than just, okay, let's provide somewhere for them to live. And the reason they go there, you know, Mr. Franklin, right there under the Treasury building, I watch them there. I think they feel safer there at night. I don't know if it is that it has more light or there's a camera there or something, but it feels safer there, you know, and that we're human beings. We're human beings.
Marcia,
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Franklin.
this person is saying, in all fairness to the government, there are government and private facilities. Name them. Name these government and private facilities that the people can go to. You see, these people just pick up government talk and punch and talk rubbish because they feel that they have to defend the government. This is not defensible. What shelter? Name the shelter they can go to. They got the call-up shelter. How many people get in there? And that's for the old men to sleep at. That's for men to sleep at night. Where else? Right now, we have district hospitals in various, almost every parish. They used to call them almshouses. The government shut them down, amalgamate them and all kind of stuff. And right now, you do not have a facility where, if you are indigent and capable of taking care of yourself, and you used to be able to go to the facility in the community, and the matron will take you in and feed you, clothe you, and whatever. And now all of a sudden, they shut them down. And if you want to go to one of them, you got to go through a long application process. More people die waiting to get into those homes than actually get into them. So don't tell me Stop trying to defend the indefensible. Name, simply patriot, tell me the names of these shelters that the people can go to. Since you know, I don't, tell me.
Yeah. That's the thing. I deal with there's Steve Skeet, and I didn't know that this was such a challenge. Simple Patriot. She's the person is saying there's a Clyde Gollop shelter.
I just mentioned that that's for men, and
and
got
and
enough
that
people.
and that is I
That's true.
have done some visitations there, and was part of a group that laid out a real good Christmas meal for them. But it is packed.
Mm-hmm.
It is packed, and it's only for men. It is only for men. And there's no provision. We made a big how you mean coming back and saying Safri shelter when you hear that Safri is treating people bad there. You all don't hear me speaking like this, but I know of persons who have gone there, and these are some of the same people who probably filtered into the group then at the Treasury building.
Yes,
I know
there
of
are.
persons. I have attended to a gentleman on the beach there opposite government headquarters. And even when you sit and talk, as you know, Caswell and Marcia with them, they can relate to you. So all of them are not what word, out of touch with society. You could hear how they spoke.
Some of them are quite articulate. Why was there and even made jokes with some of them? The fellow making fun there too. He's not an idiot. He's just poor. I tell you, I went there and I talked with them because I had to find out for myself because I don't want to talk out of turn. And I spoke. The guy was there, and he was humorous. We had and I'd laugh with him and stuff. But he had his challenges, and he said he would not go back in Safri's place.
You know what we need to ask? We need to ask and to have a visit at that shelter for the homeless on Price Street. We need, and now we're hearing that the Clyde Gollop shelter is closed for repairs. And the Clyde Gollop shelter was an old school that was
Yes.
old Hinesbury
School.
Mm-hmm. So the toilet facilities. I mean, the place is like one on top the other in there. It was an old school. And we need to see how much money did Safri get here the other day? How much? $250,000 or more?
About $500,000. I was told, but I mean,
democracy dictates that the taxpayer should ask about how that money is spent, and we should be able to have opportunity, just like how you go and visit the geriatric hospital. We should be able, if you're being funded through government funds, all of that money, we should be able, or there should be some open door where the public, like ourselves, social activists should be able to go into those places and see the conditions in there. What you want more money for if you are not doing a good job right now?
Campaigning.
And you should have been intervening on those persons' behalf, those individuals' behalf, and I don't like to say those people. Those individuals, those persons, those citizens' behalf yesterday. It is not fair. And my thing is, you know that you were going to displace them, at least let there be an alternative given to them. They take it, they leave it, and if they resist now, then you could take further actions. But did you give them options? As far as I see, none.
Yeah. Well, someone is saying here that that lady, I don't know, I don't know who is speaking to me, so I don't know if it is true. I'm just presenting another side, but I don't know that she was given the option of, moving off the street, and being in an apartment, but she didn't. And but what I just wrote back to say, you could look at the video and you could tell that there's some mental, to me it appears that way to me. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, but it seems to me that there's a possibility that there could be some mental health issue going on. And I think that is a piece of it, that it feels like people, like we're not realizing that that's a big part of what happens to people on the street, why they're even there. And I remember I talked to you, I was talking about people feeling safe, Rose and Caswell. And when people have those kinds of issues, they're with their friends. You see how they were taking care of each other and saying that person lost
Yeah.
this and so on. So they get accustomed to each other. We have to be empathetic, we have to understand people and behavior and how they cope and how they
And
cope
they have
and all of
created
that.
a community
Yeah,
amongst
that's what I'm saying.
themselves.
Yeah.
They
Marcia,
created a
one of
community.
the most touching things I've seen in my lifetime. I was out by Independence Square there, and this guy, there were people sitting on the side of the road, and a guy begged me for some money to buy food, something to eat. I gave him $5, like that I had two a coin, $1 coin, and two dollar things I had in my pocket. I just got back change, and the fella turned and give the other beggar there next to him $2 out of it. I felt so bad. I didn't have any more money in my pocket. He begging, and he turned around and give out of the nothingness that he had to help
Mhm.
somebody else. And we said, no, you're talking, trying to defend the government that gain 20% gratuity to people like Charlie Jung and that kind of people walking about here making tons and tons of money, getting Jessica Odell a big set of salary for not planning the prime minister here, and now turn around and then give you 20% going back for 4 years, and you can begrudge some poor people and the capital only $100 bill that I had. Man, that's foolishness. This get me angry, because I can't bear to see people being treated badly, and then people want to justify it. Sometimes, if you rather than justify this or try to justify to protect your party, you should shut up, because there's no excuse for this type of behavior to be visited upon any human being. I got a little dog here. If I had to treat him so, I would give him away or something. I cannot keep him in this house and something like that.
Yeah.
This is madness.
Yeah. And when you think just the people are, this is a part of it. And the person here is explaining that the lady is being elusive and so on. And I want to thank you. I would love to talk to you some more. Whoever is messaging me, I'm going to try to, let's talk some more, and let's see what we can do to help that lady, and whoever else, because there's a part for the government to play. We're hearing they're sending threatening letters to people for taxes and so on. A lot of the Senator Watson was saying a lot of our taxpayers is threatened. And when we think of how money is being spent in this country, right above their heads, so they are sleeping underneath the Treasury building, but right above their head is $3 million spent on concrete and metal, concrete and metal that was not necessary. really was not necessary. When you put it in the full, the scheme of everything, not necessary. And what do you think? Why do you think people in this country, some of these young men and older men and young girls, and so why you think we're having so much crime and so on? Some of them, they're just angry. They're just angry. I was speaking with some of the young men in Wellington Street, and I said it already, and it just stayed in my head, Rose, where they said to me, they want us to work for almost free to build the Hyatt. He said that they're going to come to us and give us nothing. And he said a lot of these guys are not going to take that money. And he said all that will happen is that they will lay away the contractor and take the money from the contractor, hit him down and take the money from because they are angry when they see things like this. They talk about the Freedom Park, that is there, that to them is that this is more than our lives. It matters more, that beautification is important, but it's more than our lives, where you could move the fire station that could help us, and you decide to put put a green space when we are here. We're the people. We're humans, and we're here. You say you feel us, you hear us, you see us, really, but you move the fire station, and here you have these homeless people, and when you think of the sanitation workers, like, why did you do that? It's somebody could tell you to do something, but my God, how would you carry that out? How do you carry out that order? I'm just trying to wrap my head around that, but it's just really and I think people in the chat, yes, they're a community, as somebody says. It's a community. It's way more than we can really understand. But Mr. Franklin, I don't see Kimar, so I'm just gonna go into this.
So that means I can talk about these lie detector tests then.
Yes, well, hold a minute. There's something that someone has sent me, and I really want to just mention it, and then we can go into that. Just give me a minute. I want to mention something here that is coming up from a community, and I think it's important. I sent Dave a high-rise building. I don't know if he can put it up. Dave can put it up on the screen. But I just want to raise this here because I think this is important. It's about the residents of Mount Standfast. And what I love about this is another situation where the residents, the community rose, they're rising up, right? They said that the residents, the person said the residents of of their neighborhood, they met with MP Edmund Hinkson regarding this proposed 8-story condominium to be built in Mount Standfast. And it said that they are alleging that Edmund Hinkson declared that he was listed by the developers in their brochures as a preferred attorney for any prospective buyers to use if they choose to. So listen carefully. So here it is. Right? The MP is Edmund Hinkson, and they are alleging that there is a brochure for this condominium here, 8-story condominium being built in Mount Standfast, and that the allegation is that the MP Hinkson is declared that he was listed by the developers in their brochures as a preferred attorney. So he's being advertised as a preferred attorney in this brochure that is advertising the sale of these condominiums. He also declared that a family member of William Duguid, the minister responsible for development. So listen how we're going here. So this is the allegation, is a lawyer working for the developers. All right. Technically, there is nothing wrong with either situation, but it reeks of conflict of interest. the name of the developer, because it's in the newspaper, so we're commenting on what is in the newspaper as well. It was in the newspaper today. The developer is called Escape Developments, and they are the ones that are turning Lower Carlton into a concrete jungle of Congos, right? So so the member the residents of Mount Standfast are standing up, and I wanted to I'm speaking to some of the people there, and more than likely I would like to go down there and to see the people and connect with them. But I love to see when the communities, when they get up, and they are, when they get up and they are talking, speaking out about what is happening to them. And so it will be interesting to know. I would love to see the brochure to see if the MP Edmund Hinkson name is really in the brochure as a preferred lawyer for this the preferred attorney for the buyers, the prospective buyers. So that's what I wanted to share. You can go ahead, Mr. Franklin.
Marcia, today when you passed by the office, I was seeing some person that came up to you. I've seen some people. These were customs and immigration officers. They are concerned about this truth verification testing that the government is threatening to impose on people who work at the airport and the seaport and police and whoever else, right? Some years ago, I remember it well because the chief immigration officer and the comptroller of customs invited me to a meeting to get my support for officers being to search when they are going into the harbor. Even if you work there, you should be searched. And also for the lie detector test, truth verification test. I said to them then, because they said cabinet instructed them to talk to me. They said they have some knowledge. I know a little bit about security, so they wanted to talk to me first. And I said I have no difficulty with lie detector test if the cabinet takes it first, because they have more opportunity to be corrupt than any customs officer or any person who fixes the lights on the runway at Randall International Airport, because they want to force them. The electricians who maintain the equipment at the airport, fix the tower, fix the lights. They are saying that these people have to take this lie detector test. To what end? Now, I said, but no, you got to ask cabinet ministers, have you ever taken bribes? And when they say, no, you see that machine start going here, where? I said, so no, if you have to lead by example. You cannot tell me that you're going to force people all the way down the line to take these tests and you are going to exempt yourself from them. This came about some years ago when, these government ministers travel and they've got these CARICOM meetings and not to talk about, they come with all kind of nonsense. And this came out of a meeting, a CARICOM meeting, where they agreed that we should have this type of thing throughout CARICOM. My understanding is that Trinidad decided that they're going to put it in legislation. But our goodly government chose not to put it in legislation, but to pretend that it has something to do with national security so that the courts won't be able to inquire into it because they're going to assert national security. I said to the officers, and I will tell you what I said to them, government can assert as much national security as it wants, but that cannot make me work. So when you said I am tested, and they actually sent out the Attorney General and the Minister of Labor to go around and talk to people. And in some cases, officers tell me they're threatened or they feel threatened by the language telling them that if they don't take the test, they can't stay in there. They got to find different jobs and all kind of nonsense. They are threatening people, but they don't have the decency to say, well, look, let me show you that this thing ain't gonna bite, this thing ain't gonna hurt. We can take it first. They can't. They don't. They are too afraid for the truth to come out, but they want to force it on public officers. My advice to all public officers, all, not some, all who are required to take the test, say no. I will take my test only when the Prime Minister and her cabinet takes them, and that these test results are made public. When they do that, and you know what happened, Marcia? When they said that they will take back my view to the cabinet.
Yeah.
Cabinet stopped them from meeting with me after that. And they decided that they're going to deal with NUPW and BWU. So both of those units have agreed with the truth verification testing and everything else. Everything else that the government wants, they go, yes, ma'am, 3 bags full. They don't stand up for the workers. Look, you can strap me into any machine and ask me questions, I will tell you the truth. But you cannot make that a condition of my employment simply because they are fallible.
Mm-hmm.
And we have in our laws that you can't force a guy to incriminate himself. So even if I'm a criminal, you got to prove it. You can't make me establish that I'm a criminal or that I have criminal ways, I do criminal things. So you have no suspicions that I'm a thief. So you can strap me in a chair, put some electrodes on me, and ask me questions. And they can assure you, when I go to the doctor, they check my pressure 3 times. You know why? Because I don't let them machines in front of me. I see them, my pressures go up. And it's going to wait a couple more minutes. Done the medication, no water, no nothing. And then after a while, it comes down. And then the 3rd time, pressure normal. But the first time, they strap a machine up on me, and shoot up. So that can happen to people taking these lie detector tests.
Yeah.
So how can that be? How can that be fair? But that is not the part that troubles me most, you know. That we have a set of people who think they're above everything else. You remember these are the same people that accuse the financial administration of being corrupt, and they promised to put integrity legislation in place within 100 days of becoming the government of Barbados.
Yeah.
I hope people remember that. The 100 days gone yet? Because I ain't seen an integrity legislation on the books. I remember when I was in the Senate. I remember when I was in the Senate, I tell them, man, this thing can pass. Tom Madden's promised integrity legislation. Barrow promised it. The only Prime Minister that did not promise integrity legislation was Bruce St. John because he wasn't there long enough. He had a chance. All of them talk about it. And the only one who actually put integrity legislation on the book was Randall Short. For whatever reason, they put it on the books, but they did not put it in, they did not proclaim the legislation. So when this government came into force, they had a statute they were waiting for them to implement. You know what happened? They said, "Ain't good enough, we can do it on." So that gives them some time. Mind you, Santa had said on Montgomery Pastor, "Oh, we got one already, we have it there. We are not waiting. We have it." And they put one in place now, but they refuse to bring it in force. They can't. I say they can't. And they can't do it for the same reason why they wouldn't take the lie detector test. And they will want to force it on everybody else. But they can't take it for themselves because, for reasons best known to themselves, they might fail.
Yeah.
You know, I can give you one last thing. This has to do with integrity. An MP, I'm not going to call his name yet, reversed his car onto a vehicle belonging to a nurse. And he said to her, I don't want to get the police involved. So I'll pay for the damage and that kind of stuff. And she said, no, my car, this is happened a couple of yesterday or the day before. I just got my car in December. So now what did the police come? When the police came, the MP changed his tune to say that the woman eased up on him and he didn't see her and she eased up on him and that's when she got struck. And lucky for her, her dash cam was on. You know, her dash cam was on. So when she showed the police what happened in the dash cam, the police decided, let me do a little bit more checking. And then they said, no, something. The tint on this vehicle is too dark. And that's probably why he didn't see the car behind there when he reversed onto it. And they say you got to take it empty to get checked. But you know what they said, no, something. The way he behaving here in MTW, we can accompany him to MTW. And MTW determined that the vehicle tint was too dark.
Right.
And you know what? That MP picked up his phone and called a colleague, and that saying the tint was good enough.
See?
I'm not going to call any names because I don't want to let out my tail. So I haven't called a name tonight. And my tail can't hold no letters. So he called that person, and next thing you know, they think good. This is why they don't want truth verification testing. This is why they don't want integrity legislation. This is why they don't want 7,500. That's supposed to have 7,500 reasons not to agree to the test. You know, and you see, I was just counting him, but he told me that 7,500. So I will agree with you, Mr. Bob. You know, and that is the problem. They want to come in here and want people to believe that they're like Caesar's wife, beyond reproach. And everybody else is a crook. You know, only crooks think like that. Only crooks think that everybody's a crook, you know.
Yeah.
I trust people first. I trusted this government first. And when they realize they can't be trusted, I have nothing more to do with them. Don't want nothing to do with them.
No
I
integrity.
always give you the opportunity.
Somebody said.
I give you the opportunity to prove yourself. I let you prove yourself. And this government has proven, beyond any doubt, they cannot convince a jury that they're not corrupt. A jury are their own people. But they want to go and implement measures against everybody else. And they don't want to have any rules to govern themselves.
Yeah.
That is tyranny, Rose. That's the tyranny you were talking about.
you know, but we want to we have 20 minutes left in the show. Let me use this opportunity to say to everybody, we are inviting you. We shouldn't even have to invite you to come down tomorrow. With all that we have discussed, I'm sure you must realize we need to get rid of this government for sure. I'm sure you realize that, listen, we cannot trust them. They came out and Minister Caddle said this is the recommendations, you know, but you could tell, you know, well, your recommendation, we don't know, we don't trust them. As the leader of the opposition was saying to them in Parliament, that the people are having trust issues with this government. We don't trust them. So we have to continue on the road. Sometimes, you know, they come out and they make these promises because they don't want us to march. Because they want to keep us in line. Just as what Tony Moore is saying, they want to keep us in line. Well, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, put on your good, clean clothes. Right? Put on your good, clean clothes. 10 o'clock, Massy Car Park, Kensington, right? 10 a.m. tomorrow. Put on comfortable shoes. We will have water for you. If you don't have water, you know, thank God that we have it donated. Bring a donation because, you know, we have the roadside parliament the next day. So bring a donation. But Guys, I'm telling you, come out tomorrow and again, make sure that you are, when you come out, when you understand that you are sending a message. You are sending a message. And I know some of you, you're saying that, well, I'm a little afraid. You heard the young people last night, or they said even their relatives are telling them, be careful, don't go up there, because if you go up there, this can happen to you. Listen, we've been going out there all the time. I think this is now probably March number 13 or 14 that we're on, right? And we invite everybody, come out, be comfortable, come out. Let me see the thumbs up of those who are coming out tomorrow. Who are the ones coming tomorrow? Weeks I'm coming. I would love to bring the whole population of Barbados. That's right. That's right. That's right. Now, we want to say happy birthday. I was waiting for Kimar to come on at the same time as well to wish Miss McLean a happy birthday. And we, the show made sure that she got a nice little fruit basket with some flowers and everything. So Maxine McLean, we know you're only 17 today, or what? Yeah, 17, 27, 37, a 7. There's a 7 in there today. And we want to say happy birthday, Miss McLean. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. We love when you're on. You bring such experience and such balance and such diplomacy. And I want to say thank you so much on behalf of everybody. It's a little gift that we gave her today. And this is on behalf of everybody here from the Marcia Week Show. We made sure that we did something, tried to do something special for her. And we want to say we love you, Miss McLean. Happy birthday. People are saying happy birthday, Miss McLean. Blessed and a happiest birthday, Lady Maxine. Right? And I know a lot of you had I know that a lot of you have already sent your happy birthday wishes to Miss McLean already. And so we want to make sure that she enjoys her birthday. Theory Gittins said, special lady, appreciate you for real. She loves young people. Yes, really love. She loves young people and very supportive. And we just want to say a very happy birthday to her. And she sent a picture of her birthday selfie. As you know, she did her eye surgery. And she told me I could say her age. She's 68. Oh my Lord, they say black don't crack. She is 68. Miss McLean is 68 years old. Wow. Congratulations, ma'am. Wonderful. And before we close, I know that there's in some circles, there are, there's a lot being said about the meeting that happened at the JLP. The first thing that came out was that, there was a lot of infighting, and I'm here thinking, oh my Lord, they're up there killing themselves, beating up themselves. Not true. They had a very peaceful meeting. I've heard from people who were in the meeting, very peaceful meeting. And I said, I will come on here and say that to bring that balance to it, that there were a few people on the outside who were not very happy about the meeting being held, but they had a very peaceful meeting at the headquarters there at George Street. And I just wanted to say that because it was very different from the reports that were going out. All right. And it was the meeting of the General Council, and that they had a peaceful meeting. Nobody got hurt. Nobody at all. Not at all. Okay. I just thought I wanted to say that. Anything else that's on our minds, guys? It's 1:45. Someone is asking if we have there are 29 organized persons from the loyal opposition to run. Remember, we're not a party, so we can't have 29 persons to run. We're not a party. Yeah.
What I will tell you though, I know, because I'm hearing today. I know, like, I have some friends who go to the mosque, and every so often the mosque, and they see my car in the car park, they will come and give me a shout, because I'm not one of those people who discriminate because you're Muslim, you're Jew, and I treat people like people, and they would shout me, and I say I appreciate it, and I appreciate them. So one fellow came and told me today he heard that you and I have a party. I had to point out to him, and he's ready to vote for me. I had to point out to him that that is not my intention. I have no interest in forming a party, and I want to reiterate to tall man, tall boy, tall whatever he calls himself on the calling program, that he has to develop a little character and stop giving the BLP talking points, because they give them talking points to occupy the show with. I know that from my days in the Barbados, they were part of when they required of me to do so, and I tell them very sorry. I only call in on things that I'm passionate about. I cannot call in about things that you're passionate about. So excuse me. So I would never do that for them. But they're still continuing on that strategy, and they think it works. And because what they tell you, look, if you are on the air talking, occupy the air, talk anything, because if you do, other people can get in to criticize us. So that is the strategy for the calling program. And the more provocative they make it, and they attack other people, so that they will cast people away from worrying about their burdens and that they have to carry, and try to put it on my back. I have enough burdens of my own. I left my office today after 5 because I was seeing people. I don't need a political career. I do more important work than politics. My job requires that I defend people who can't defend themselves. And I will not give up that to go and sit down in a house and agree with everything my party says. I remember years ago when I was offered to run, Henry Ford was the leader of Barbados, their party at the time, and he wanted to use the Franklin name in St. Philip because somehow they thought I came from St. Philip. But I don't know about St. Philip really. I happened to live at 6 Roads for a little bit, but I only went there to see one young lady. I wasn't thinking about the rest of them. And so I don't have anywhere roots in St. Philip. My grandmother came from St. Philip in 1901, and that's the only thing I know about St. Philip and my family. But he wanted to use Caswell Franklin because Franklins were a name in St. Philip that people knew and loved and respected. And I said to him then, I believe anytime two people sit down and always agree, one is an idiot. And I cannot sit down with 17 or 18 people and always agree what they say. I must be able to stand up and say, you are wrong. I do not agree with you respectfully, and then have no repercussions. But that is not the way we do business in Barbados. That is not how we do politics in Barbados. Because I can assure you, there are BLP members of parliament that do not like what is happening in Barbados. But they want to maintain their seats because they want to hold up on their pension. And they want to hold up on the fat checks that they get at the end of the month, because in some instances, that is the best paycheck they will ever get unless they hit lotto. And they don't have the skills or the wherewithal to go out there and make a living for themselves.
Correct.
So they take whatever is dished out to them. They suffer abuse. I'm talking about abuse, verbal abuse, to hold on to that position. And people talk about it. You must remember civil servants are also in the room when they're told certain things. And they are meek and mild. I don't think I've ever been described as meek and mild. Possibly once, but the body didn't tell me. I had something behind my back. So I can't fit in to the way we do politics in Barbados because I have some integrity. Thank you, Marcia. I said that for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that is quite funny. Quite funny. It says, how did you end up homeless? If they were, is it poverty? Did they gamble? Did they do drugs? He says, I left the light on. And somebody put on a Barbados light on power, especially now with all that is going on. But, I know that people are getting really, really concerned about, how is this going to happen? How are we going to, get a new government if the DLP isn't, if this is happening to them. I mean, looking at the history, all you've got to do is just research. All the other political parties have been through it. All the other political parties have been through it. They will come out of it, and there are others. There are other parties all over the place. So I think that we need to get into focusing on candidates, good candidates that can represent us. Focus on representation. I think we need to do a show on what is good representation, and so on, and focus on that. Yes, and this, I heard. I want one more thing I'll say on this, and I will stop talking about it. Is Hartley Henry, and I will tell anybody watching from the DLP, anything Hartley Henry tells you to do the opposite. Do the opposite. Don't take that as an advice. It's not an advice for the DLP. He's speaking on behalf of the DLP. And all you've got to do is do a research on Hartley Henry. I don't have the time to go into all of it now, right? But you see that, in St. Lucia, you see, not St. Lucia, St. Vincent, the prime minister there in St. Vincent that has been a prime minister for over 20 something years. How many terms he's been in there? The people who rose up and burst his head because they're tired of the tyranny inside of there. Go ahead and ask these guys that go around to the different Caribbean islands, and they whoever is paying them the most, they get up and they become let me just hold back. I would love to be able to do a little presentation on that for you, and how a lot of people throughout the Caribbean region see a lot of these political pundits, and who come and they're giving advice, and talking about what the DLP needs to do. I would say if it was me, I would whatever they say, I would do the opposite, because they don't mean you well.
Marcia, in opposition, you will find that political parties become fractious.
Yes.
So to the point where that sometimes get ridiculous with it. It happens in all of them, not one and not the next. You see, the prime minister, when you are in power, you can buy away that fractiousness. You can give your MPs. Look at the prime minister here in Barbados. To make sure that she doesn't have any dissent, she put almost everybody in the cabinet, and who she didn't put in the cabinet, she make a consultant. So if you decide, well, I'm on the backbench and I don't have to follow the government with, like Trevor Prescott, they're going to where he reparations chief.
Right.
So everybody gets chairmanship of this, and so you get extra money. So everybody in Mayor Motley's administration except Ralph, got something to keep them loyal. And that says something. The only body in that whole group of people that did not get something to say about, you know something, I can buy he off. So the Prime Minister is using state resources to keep her people loyal, not because they love her so much, but in opposition, you don't have that largesse to dispense. Because what happens in most of the political parties, the MPs pay 5% of their salary to maintain the parties. Right now, the BLP is getting 5% of nothing. The DLP is getting 5% of nothing. The BLP is getting 5% of 29 people pay. Right? So that now can give them some money to help run the party with. But the Dems have to look out for donations and feel like people who are like-minded and who still believe in the Democrat Labour Party. So in order to get rid of them, you see, the maybe steal them. Maloney was one of the DLP people. He gone. So you make sure you buy those people away from the Democrat Labour Party. And everybody know that you don't have anything to control them. You don't got nothing to say, but look, you know, if you behave yourself, I can make you a minister, or if you behave yourself, I can make you an ambassador. All of these things, the Prime Minister buy off. So don't think that the Barbados Labour Party has the magical ability to be decent and control their people. I tell you that I was an assistant secretary of the Barbados Labour Party, what they call assistant general secretary, basically, but we call them assistant secretaries. I was an assistant secretary. I know where some of the bones are buried. Not that I will tell you, because when it was there, that was their business, and it will stay their business. But I can tell you that they have problems too. How you think they tried to tackle Arthur when they were in opposition? You remember?
Yeah.
You think that come up because everything was good and rosy? I don't mean rosy like our Rosie here. You know? No, it wasn't. But when you look, for instance, look at me, by my own example. So far, since Molly has become the Prime Minister of Barbados, poor little me, little boy from Rock Hall, Mildred's son, get offered 4 jobs. High paying jobs too, you know. Because the first one would have made me the highest paid public officer in Barbados. But that was to make me loyal. You do that to buy people.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the Dems fighting among themselves. When the time comes, they're going to get back together. And you can see the smiling one of them and hugging up and giving the father a kiss. Just,
yeah, because it's happened before. It's history. It's history.
It happened with David Thompson. You remember when we had the people that whenever was stealing from the Democrat Labour Party, Kerry Simmons, Rudy Grant, Sam Trevor Prescott, all of them deserted the Dems because Thompson had nothing to get them. And we bought them over. But they were the people who were the noisiest. Again, the most trouble, the hardest to control. We bought them over, and then Thompson was able to settle down with the group he had left and won the government.
Right. So it
happens all the time. History is just
yeah.
repeating itself. My problem with it is that you gotta stop sometimes. That is all.
Yeah, I think it's going to stop, and I like the way the fact that you could tell even before I used to get a whole lot of things on my phone from DLP people who are keep pushing stuff, and I realize that they have stopped. To me, I guess I've spoken to them about it. I don't get that kind of material doesn't come my way anymore. Because my thing is deal with your stuff. You don't need to, be putting that out there. But I say a prayer for them because listen, whatever happened by the hook or the crook, not the crook, by some measure, these that are in, we need a new government. We need a change of government. And so it is not in my best interest. We need to be tearing down anybody at this point. We
Look,
need some good
Marcia,
candidates, yeah?
you said say a prayer for them. But Motley did not say a prayer for hers, you know. She carried them to Africa and buried them in a hole. You forget? She worked all day upon
Africa?
them. She worked all day upon them.
Oh Lord, I don't know. But anyway, the people
That is
want
what
us to
happened.
play the songs. So let's it's 10:02. And again, we want to invite everybody to come out tomorrow. So before, let me play one, and then we're gonna say our final words for the night. And then we play the one, the favorite. We have the favorite at the end. And I see Mr. Franklin already putting a smile on his face. Okay. So this is a new one. This is a new
Promise
one.
us a better tomorrow. Tell me that the suffering done. Me attack the vote and let me down. Me attack the vote and let me down. She did only want little dealing, big contracts and not corruption. Me attack the vote and let me down. Me attack the vote and let me down. Barbados is too small for me. My pocket full, now you and job they promise me. And a girl like me want power and more money. You cry transparency, but that's a no for me. Promise us a better tomorrow. Tell me that the suffering done. Me attack the vote and let me down. Me attack the vote and let me down. She did only want little dealing, big contracts and not corruption. Me attack the vote and let me down. Me attack the vote and let me down.
Yes, sir. Me attack the vote and let me down.
Give me the vote and watch, man. She ain't tell what she can do. She tell watch she.
Watch her,
I
watch
watch
her,
her.
watch her. Rose, what do you say to the people about coming down tomorrow before Dave plays Pretending? You are muted, Rose?
I'm trying, yes, I'm
Yes.
unmuted now. Going back to where we started, we talked about democracy. Who is the best person to safeguard your democracy, the democracy in this country in which you live? It's your responsibility. I'm going to do mine as far as possible, which include the march and the rally and the roadside parliament. Will you allow this government to tell you that they are protecting your democracy when you see the things that they're doing? And one of the most recent, this heartless impediment imposed on the homeless in the name of cleaning up for World Cup, Cricket World Cup. I encourage you, my people out there, you are the strict guardians of your heritage, and your heritage is the democracy that heroes like Buster and the Prime Honorable Arab Barrow, even Grantley Adams, Sir Grantley Adams and all the others, and Sir Grantley Adams, that this government is wiping out of the history's page. Their own Prime Minister, Premier, the founder of the BLP. So folks, hit the road, be safe, safeguard your democracy, our democracy, and the democracy for the young people and the generations to come. So see you out there. Remember, we have our role to play in maintaining democracy. Thank you, Marcia. Another good show again. Thank you.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. Great to have you. I need to say thank you for being here. and for the informative and well-researched session that you did, and very current session that you did. As usual, Rose, you have us thinking. Mr. Franklin, what do you say to the people about tomorrow?
Tomorrow is make or break. She would have broken us and tamed us and have her with us as her little puppies if we don't come out and stand up for ourselves. We would be completely controlled. We would have accepted everything that she is doing and taken it and don't want, but you just convincing yourself that it is good. For instance, 2 land tax bills in 18 months. And nobody ain't saying anything about it, and you think that is right. If you still have confidence in a government that will do that to you, first of all, I don't believe in that you should be paying land tax, but then make it pay 2. But the people who are their friends, they're lowering the values. They're going into the districts now and giving land tax breaks to people who are BLP people, to my certain knowledge, who live on large 4-acre lots, giving them all kind of concessions and penalizing poor people to the extent that people can't pay it. And next thing you know, they will be selling out your house. And if you still have all that love and care for the government, don't come and march with us. We don't want you to be a hypocrite. But I know the majority of Barbadians are not hypocrites. And you must be able to see that this government is the worst government that Barbados has ever had. And I'm talking pre-independence. I'm talking going far back as slavery. This is what, because they are trying to enslave us now. They want to shut us up. They want to make sure we can't speak. They want to lock us up for telling the truth. And thank God for Marcia Weeks. If she didn't have this show, that bill would have gone through. And next thing you know, you will hear knock on your door, and the police come and say, "I want your phone." And if you don't get them, you lock up. And you can tell me that you have faith and confidence and you trust this government. If you still trust this government, stay home. If you don't trust this government, meet me down by Kensington tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. And I will be down there, God willing. And I know people don't want us. Some people on here, they said, they don't want us to talk about faith. Well, I am a person of faith. And so I will talk about faith, and I will continue to pray for this beloved country. The country is made up, it's the people that make up Barbados. I'll continue to pray for Barbados. I'll continue to pray for change in Barbados. And then don't tell me, oh, you all just pray and do nothing. Really, we open up our computer, Mr. Franklin, 4 times a week. So it's not religion, it's work. It's work. It's a belief in a higher power, and I believe in that for Barbados, that we are going to see change. We need to continue to work, put the feet on the ground, and get down there tomorrow at the march. So I see you at 10 o'clock tomorrow. All right, so let me march. So here we go. Dave, they want the song.
That mass nor English.
What happened there?
That mass nor English. Pretending to be good. I pretending to be good. Just pretending to be good. I pretending to be good. I just pretending to care about people. 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 Pretending. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. I'm pretending to be good. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people.
All right. So you know that is going to.
Good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people.
Okay, somebody see. All right, so somebody says I'll be there tomorrow. So see you all tomorrow, guys. See you tomorrow. God bless you. See you tomorrow and Sunday. Bye bye. Bye bye. God bless. Bye bye.
Bye. Good
All right, so
night.
somebody says